program for Nissan for 20
Really?
years. So I grew up around these schools. My mom used to bring back the Howard shirts, the Florida A&M, North Carolina A&T, Xavier in Louisiana. So, understanding that, and then with the start of the Players Alliance, again, it seems like 10 years ago that we made that announcement in Colorado for the funding from the Players Alliance, and understanding that that's a big thing to start to feature.
Right.
Is more HBCU talent, and what a lot of people don't know, that I know you have a story, is the discrepancy in not just the talent and the availability, the accessibility of baseball among communities of color and Black players, but the actual institution, how underfunded some of these schools are.
So when we're talking about, these guys going 1 and 2, or, we watched the College World Series a couple weeks ago, and the SEC Power 5 type schools, right, that are participating in those, and the amount of money that is going through college sports right now relative
particularly the SEC.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's just a joke, but, obviously a former teammate of ours, Ken Griffey Jr. is, involved with the HBCU game, and I think helps in a lot of ways, facilitate that event, which is awesome, and create some exposure for some of those guys that they wouldn't otherwise get. But relative to the, what those guys get from a restore standpoint, and what their programs have to spend on everything, man, whether it's like, your actual stuff, meaning like cleats, apparel, batting gloves, everything that you would need to play, those types of things. And then, keep going up the ladder with the amount of money that they have from a budget standpoint to go recruiting their coaches and things of that nature. Like, it's just, two different ends of the spectrum. So, what those guys are experiencing is just, it's just a different product, obviously, than the top of the food chain, like we're talking about with regards to the SEC Power 5 type schools. From a budgetary standpoint, they're just very far apart. And I think an event like that's awesome, because it highlights those schools, it highlights those players, and hopefully will, long term help bridge that gap a little bit relative to some of the budgetary type deficits that they operate with.
Yeah, I think it's great to highlight the teams, the schools, some of the Alabama A&Ts, the Alabama Centrals, the Georgia State and stuff like that. I think it's great because you can increase enrollment and let kids understand that they're on the map now, and that you can pursue those opportunities, and hopefully, the talent, especially as we create this system, the system at its core in developing young Black players that go into these schools, that will, the finances and the economics of these programs will continue to change. The only thing is just, and I know it's 2023, but I didn't, as much as I wanted to root for the game and what Junior's doing, the talent, I didn't see the talent. It wasn't that there's a huge gap still in the difference between what we all witnessed in the College World Series and what we're seeing literally play out before our eyes in the draft, what was on the field. And, for most of those guys, it was probably, they're not doing the top college wood bat leagues that, they're out there, they're getting blown away by, 88, 91. And, we're looking at Skeens and some of these guys, and they're, these guys are triple digits, super elite, 1% first rounders. And I felt like I was I kind of felt like I was watching like elite Southern California or Dallas high school baseball, where you guys had guys out there that were running up 91, 92, guys that are going to go to elite D1 schools. But I didn't see that. You had some like lefty pitchers coming out throwing 86, 87. You had some, relievers coming out throwing 90, 92. Mechanics were a little bit squirrely. But the hustle and the heart and the energy of the game, I think that's what it's about. That's what HBCU schools are about. They ran the bases like bats out of hell. They stole bases. They were stealing home the pass ball when it was tied 3-3 to put them up 4-3. It's great energy. Kids that are super passionate, love the game of baseball. And it was great because it kind of filled that void that we were talking about, is not having college baseball, and to put that special group out there and to have that joy and enthusiasm was really cool to watch on the biggest stage in baseball right now.
Well, and in this day and age, social media and the whole deal, like there's no better marketing for those schools.